You're passing, as Joe Rogan correctly points out, an imaginary boundary that we set up like 100 years ago. It didn't even exist, right? It's just paperwork. You are so pathetically virtuous. It's insane. First of all, I don't understand why virtue is considered a vice in this regard. Okay? You are just saying that you agree that I have the morally correct position. Now officially the largest political content creator on the platform, and this is apparently the idea that he pitched.
One other thing. So like they're doing this thing with like these deportations where they bring in like celebrities to deport people, and it made me wonder, what is the probability that Tom Homan would let me go with him dressed up as Ash Ketchum with watching them do deportations? Like, I feel like it's probably at least 5% chance, right? Like, I think I think we're at a 5 to 10% chance.
Like, what is this? What is happening right now? Have we just lost the plot in its entirety? Like, what's going on? Like, my man's adding a second thing to his. Asmongold's now officially adding a second thing to his going outside routine, and it's like Whataburger, and now watching migrants get deported as he dressed up as like Ash Ketchum. To me, when I think about the mass deportation policies, like I don't know, I don't see it as like a laughing matter or something to be entertained by, because my assumption is not immediately that every single one of these people that's being deported is like a rapist. You know what I mean? That's how the American government tries to propagandize the position, but that's not how it is. It's just, I don't know.
That this could happen.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be really good content. It would be. And yeah, probably not going to happen though, but it would be fucking funny. For the love of God, you must try.
Dude, I saw something that was, I saw a TikTok that I want to show you guys about
Mr. Speaker, I want the
where Joe Rogan was. Okay, I need you to see this. Wait, where did it go? Did I not like it? I thought I did. Hold on. Wait, what? Did I not like it? God damn it. Wait, hold on. Phineas reposted it, so maybe I can find it through there. Friend of the show, Phineas, reposted it. This is back when I was a Joe Rogan head as well.
Wanted to build a wall, but I didn't know that he said that he wanted to get rid of.
Here's Joe Rogan and Sam Harris, two people who I disagree with vehemently now, talking about Donald Trump.
The illegal aliens.
Round them up. Gonna round them up.
And do what with them?
Send them back to their country.
Oh, that is so crazy. That's such a crazy idea, and it's so brutal. The idea that, I mean, the only reason why people would come to America is because they felt like it would make their life better. So people take a big risk. There's not an easy way to do it if you're poor, and you don't have any qualifications for any unusual job. I mean, and you're trying to get across to Mexico. But everybody who does it because they want to improve their life. You know, and the idea that one group of people shouldn't be able to do it and one group should, just because we were born on the right side of some strange line that is only a couple hundred years old.
But the climate change thing is also insane and dangerous.
Well, he was a birther.
Right, yeah, right.
He was one of the original birthers. He was saying that Obama's birth certificate was bullshit. He was born in Kenya, right? Wasn't he one of those guys?
Oh, yeah, he was
I would love
self-funding that for a while, yeah.
I would love it if he got into office and just said, listen, folks, I am not.
Like, the rest of it is just like him being silly, but like this is Joe Rogan in 2016, and his approach to immigration right here, like specifically talking about undocumented migrants right here,
do it if you're
is my understanding of the reality. Okay? Because it is the reality. No one is coming into America with like impure intentions. Okay? Especially not 20 million people. The assumption that 20 million undocumented migrants, if there are 20 million of them on U.S. soil, operate with a hive mind, right? Operate with a hive mind to begin with is insane. Like dudes from Honduras, Guatemala, Cuba, Venezuela, the Congo, China, all around the world, right? People come into the United States of America from all around the world. The notion that like an evil act of a singular undocumented migrant is actually reflective of the 20 million population is psychotic, especially when they are from virtually every different demographic, ethnicity, creed, background, race, educational attainment. Like they are not, this is not one blob, right? That's number one. Number two, the notion that they come here specifically to do crimes or to ruin American society is also ridiculous. Like, these are just normal people, man. They're normal people just like you and me, right? And they want the same exact things. They want a roof over their heads. They want a better future for themselves and their kids. They want to have a regular job, you know? So the idea that they're coming here to do crimes and like undermine American culture is completely ridiculous. It's so silly. I don't understand it. So coming through the legal process, great question. Some of the people that are being deported are actually coming in through the legal process, just so you know, because the difference between an undocumented migrant and a documented migrant is just paperwork. Okay? And as far as the undocumented migrants that have come in, okay, the reason why they have come in through criminal means, which is not a severe violation at all, right? You're passing, as Joe Rogan correctly points out, an imaginary boundary that we set up like 100 years ago. It didn't even exist, right? It's just paperwork. You are so pathetically virtuous. It's insane. First of all, I don't understand why virtue is considered a vice in this regard, okay? You are just saying that you agree that I have the morally correct position. That is not like a pejorative. You can't say, man, I fucking hate how pathetically virtuous you are. What has happened to American society? What has happened to people? What do you mean pathetically virtuous? It's like that tweet, never commit the sin of empathy. Like, what is happening? What do you mean the sin of empathy? National security doesn't matter? Brother, I have already described illegal immigrant rights over American people's rights. Nice one, Hasan. Your rights begin and end on the boundaries of other people, okay? On other people's rights. There's no such thing as like illegal immigrants getting more rights than Americans. Like, that's ridiculous. That's not a real thing. And also, that should not be a real thing, okay? And in terms of just paperwork, it is the truth. Because the difference between an undocumented migrant, when people say just come in the legal way, that's what they're saying. File the paperwork. And I'm telling people that they do file the paperwork and they are still considered undocumented migrants because it's just about paperwork. That's the reason why J.D. Vance can Haitians with temporary protected status, proper paperwork, are undocumented migrants that are going to be deported from this country. They're not undocumented. They have the documentation. They quite literally have the proper paperwork, which means they went through the process. They got criminal background checks. The Department of Homeland Security, which is not a woke institution, has decided that these people are allowed into the country. Okay? That's number one. Number two, in terms of like national security conversations, national security fears in general, okay? This, again, goes back to a falsehood that I was addressing in the beginning. These people are not coming in here to do crimes. And as a matter of fact, the data also reflects that reality, right? Undocumented migrants are responsible for a smaller share of crimes per capita than natural-born U.S. citizens are. They do less crime in general. Define paperwork, be more specific. I don't know how much more specific I can be. Paperwork as in going through the proper channels and opening up the proper channels in the hands of the federal government, of course, opening up the proper channels for these undocumented migrants to be processed. America has created amnesty for undocumented migrants numerous times throughout its history. Ronald Reagan very famously did this as well. Okay? Defined paperwork in this situation would be whichever the proper paperwork is for processing undocumented migrants and making them documented migrants. For the record, a big part of the reason why there are undocumented migrants to begin with, like the people that just come in, right, without the proper paperwork, is because the government doesn't want there to be enough paperwork readily available, enough processing readily available. They just don't let in that many people in general. It is a very long and arduous process. Okay? That's it. That's the real reason. As someone in the chat pointed this out as well, as my God King Gaben has said, piracy is a service problem, right? And he's correct. Piracy is a service problem. The American government and its immigration processes are no different. Undocumented migration is directly born out of the fact that the federal government makes it like a 10-year to 15-year process for you to get properly cleared to get into the country. Okay? Now, there are, I have described the real reasons as to why the federal government has this approach, and that is because they want there to be an endless pool of undocumented laborers, people that have no legal means to fight back if they are f***ed over by their bosses, people who play a role in the American agribusiness, people who play an incredibly important role in the construction sector, that are a permanently refreshing pool of labor that will work because they're in much more desperate condition, that will work for pennies on the dollar, doing backbreaking labor that can be deported from this country on a moment's notice. If these people were all documented, then business owners wouldn't be able to abuse them as much. Business owners wouldn't be able to use them as a means of depressing the wages of the documented labor pool. Anyway, let's get back to what Asmongold is saying.
Yes. And yeah, your statement about not voting to disadvantage yourself is really blowing up on X with strong support. Well, of course it is. Of course, it's just a logical perspective to have. Now, there's a bunch of emotionally unstable retards on the internet that like to distort reality. But no, of course, I'm not going to vote for somebody who's going to say that someone else is going to have a privilege that I can't have. Why the f would I ever do that? That's the most retarded thing you can imagine. So, no, of course, that's like, I mean, why don't I just vote to have somebody shoot me? Like, what is this?
So he said this. I think this is the video. This is the OG video that went viral on Twitter, it seems, when he was like replying to when he was responding to my conversation with CNN.
It's the double standard. And I'm sorry, but I'm never going to vote for a person who's going to categorically put me at a disadvantage. Like, any time that somebody is providing advantages to an identity group.
I don't understand the argument that they're critical to agribusiness. Like, it just sounds like, ooh, they let us keep our underpaid. Don't deport them. We don't want to pay more. That's what it sounds like, honestly. No, it is the reality, however. Okay? My argument is not to deny the abject reality that corporations in numerous sectors actually undocumented labor, okay, specifically to undermine the documented U.S. labor force, and that the only way to fix this problem is by deporting 20 million people. My solution to it is recognizing that reality and then combating it by documenting them. Okay? That's it. That is the proper way to go about this. That is also the popular measure as well. There are studies conducted on this as well. Every single time when given the two options of amnesty for undocumented migrants versus mass deportation, wins out. Okay? But what if we filled the gap post-deportation with American workers? Brother, what are you talking about? Deporting 20 million workers in general is not obviously a good thing. Like, it's not like, oh man, this will be an opportunity. You are out of your mind. Also, that's not going to happen anyway. Obviously, also attacking the companies for their activities, but it seems like Americans can also fulfill the jobs. Yeah, I hate the popular argument. It's the right thing to do. No, I agree. But in this instance, it's not only the right thing to do, but it's also the popular thing to do anyway. You cannot tell me in all sincerity that you believe the mass deportation of 20 million workers in this country is actually a pro-labor position, okay? The proper way to go about this is to understand the reality that undocumented migrants are being exploited in ways that are even worse than how the documented labor force is being exploited, and then work to improve their conditions and offer them amnesty and offer them documentation so they can participate in the labor force alongside the documented labor force and improve their wages as well as everyone else's wages. That is the argument. Anything that justifies the unimaginably cruel practice of mass deportations and concentration camps is going to lead you to straight up Nazi stuff. Okay? No, it's not pro-labor, but can we do both? Curtail the exploitation, improve working conditions, offer documentation for those who don't have substantial criminal background. Couldn't we do all of the above? Wait, no, that is my argument. That's what I want the American government to do. Who is putting people in a camp? I don't know. Have you been checking the news? Chatter? His name is Thomas Homan. He looks like a literal Harkonnen. So? What do you mean, so? Viking God Gamer? What about all of the other president deportations? You think I liked it if Joe Biden did it or if Barack Obama did it? Are you fucking stupid? No, I was incredibly critical of them too. I've been yelling about Joe Biden. Oh my God, they all did it. Look it up. Oh my God, this dude just... Sometimes I forget dealing with right-wingers is just like a foolhardy endeavor in general, because it's like they just don't have any conceptualization capabilities beyond partisan politics. Dude, just, I don't know, go to my YouTube page and maybe watch one video from the Biden administration and immigration in general, and you will understand that I don't give a fuck who's doing the deportations. It's still cruel and unjustifiable. He's new here, I know, but he doesn't need to be a brainlet when I explain to him that this is my position no matter who's doing it. It's the law, okay? Oh my God. You know what else was a law? Slavery, dog. What the fuck are you talking about? It was illegal to free slaves, dumbass. Oh, it's the law. Sorry. You just have to keep doing slavery, please. Yup, and the majority got rid of it. Wait, what? Viking God Gamer. I just know this guy looks like Tim the Tap Man, and his kid is under the sink drinking chemicals while he's doing this. That is if he has a kid. I like that he was like, who's putting people in camps? And then I explained it to him, and he's like, well, I like that actually now. Okay, so why did you ask that question? So you could defend it? Like, I don't understand. You're too stupid to know that Tom Homan initially also worked under the Obama administration as well. Like, what are you talking about? You think I was down with Tom Homan when he was working with Obama? No. There you go, dumbass conservative. Now you can own a liberal, I guess, who is unconditionally defending the Democratic Party a little bit better. I gave you a talking point that you can use and be like, excuse me, you know who else worked with Tom Homan? Barack Obama. That's your favorite guy. Okay, there you go. This is why I say I could be so much better. I could be so much better as a fucking conservative commentator. Jesus Christ. They're so stupid. They're just so pathetically fucking stupid. No interest whatsoever in like crafting a decent narrative. Holy shit. Oh, I guess you loved it when your favorite Muslim was doing it. You know?
Double standard. And I'm sorry, but I'm never going to vote for a person who's going to categorically put me at a disadvantage. Like, any time that somebody is providing advantages to an identity group that I don't belong to, I will never support that.
Wait, what? You can say that about every... So what, like veterans? Leukemia. Excuse me. What is this? What is this cancer research funding that you speak of? I don't have cancer, so I don't give a shit. What the fuck?
Never. Why would I actively support somebody who's trying to disenfranchise me and hurt me? It's insane. So he's totally right that it's the policies. And it's also the messaging. The messaging is, it's patronizing.
He's agreeing with me, but I don't know. Is this out of context? Like, I don't understand, because I wasn't making an argument against, like, I was not making an argument against the disenfranchised.
It's rude. It's aggressive. It's awful. It's common sense. It's voting against your best interest. Yeah, people are obsessed with identity politics. Yeah, exactly. But how are you being hurt? Well, for example, like if somebody provides a benefit or a promotion that's available to a group of people that I'm not a part of, that would be an opportunity that I wouldn't have access to because of my identity. Do you understand? So like the moment that that happens, I'm out. I'm totally out. I will never support somebody that will put me at a disadvantage because of immutable characteristics.
I hate it when pregnant women get to sit on the bus. I'm not a child, so I won't support the existence of schools anymore. Virtually every aspect of like modern governance revolves around combating this attitude. Just so we make it clear, okay? This is the inception of like American libertarian principles, and it is antithetical to the existence of any kind of government. Okay, the entire point of overall welfare is to, one, create structures of support that might even help you down the line in ways that you don't foresee, okay, i.e., cancer research, let's say. Like, why are we spending this money on cancer research? I don't have cancer. Just eat right, lol. Okay, well, you'll appreciate it if you do end up getting cancer, or if a loved one ends up getting cancer, that this research exists. That's number one. Number two, you never know if that cancer research actually ends up saving the lives of many people that will become incredibly important and productive individuals in American society. Like, that's the whole point. I'm using cancer research for one reason. I'm using cancer research as like a singular reason, but there are numerous different initiatives implemented in the same vein, okay? Even affirmative action in general. Any kind of initiative that would help improve the material conditions of, I don't know, the black population of the United States of America that have been relegated to historically underserved neighborhoods is overall to the benefit of everyone in the United States of America. Even if you can't see it through purely empathetic terms, even if you can't see it through the lens of empathy, right? I can still make a very self-interested argument towards this as well, which is that you never know where this uncaptured attention is, okay? This unlimited potential is, and it's the government's job, it's the responsibility of a normal government to make sure that they improve the underlying material conditions to a degree where, you're helping improve the potential of so many people who never get that opportunity.
Maybe you do not need that, but I think I should be treated fairly, the same as everybody else is. And if somebody says that I shouldn't be treated fairly and I should be put at a disadvantage, then I'm going to vote against them. And you can say that it's not fair or whatever.
I won't vote against my own self-interest, perhaps the single most straightforward political perspective ever, this person says. It's ironic that people say this, but it's like at the heart of many people's voting decisions. I hear this a lot. Oh, I won't vote against my self-interest. And then people turn around and vote for the Republican Party regularly. If you are working class, okay, neither party really represents your interests. Fair. But in most circumstances, at least one party is not actively seeking to undermine like all of these federal government programs or whatever that do help you in very meaningful ways. So, no, a lot of people actively vote against their best interest. Asmongold is afraid of a hypothetical that he will never experience because he has money and doesn't leave the house. No, but this is simply a limit to his own imagination. Like this is a demonstration of the limits of your own imagination, okay? Because the federal government works in invisible ways. I'll give you an example. The FDA, right, or the USDA. These are institutions that the Republican Party seeks to undermine and deregulate. Why? Because corporations can't generate as high profits as they would like to when the pesky federal agencies tell them, you have to make sure that your supply of poultry or meat in general is up to a certain standard. and therefore doesn't poison people, okay, when they consume it. Yeah. The National Institute of Health is another one, right? This just happens behind the scenes, but it plays a very formative role. Like food standards play a very formative role in society not collapsing, okay? It gives you the opportunity to not have to test your own food and take away that massive hurdle that once did not exist, okay? But because it's invisible, people just look at that and go, fuck it. I don't care, okay? I don't care. It's fine. So when the Republican Party undermines this federal agency and deregulates it, especially at a time when seemingly bird flu is on the rise, that's not a good thing. That's a danger to overall welfare. It's chaos. Without the existence of a properly funded regulatory agency, things like that are going to cause a tremendous amount of harm to the broader population. Leaving that up to luck is insane to me. Asmongold believes that white people are being discriminated is not a hypothetical for him. I know. I think it's ridiculous. Okay. Trying to offer affirmative action style initiatives to historically underfunded and undermined groups in this country is not simply done to be woke, is not simply done because the people they just want to be virtue signalers or whatever. It's done to improve it's of those people in particular, but also across the board, all people, as a direct consequence of having, as a direct consequence of being able to uplift certain communities, improve their material conditions, and maybe capture the unlimited potential that they might have. That's it. None of that is at odds with white people thriving in society. Not only is it not a zero-sum game, but it also ends up improving white people and their living standards as well.
We like 500 crossings in one day. Compare that to 10 to 12,000 a day under Biden.
Right, but why is it better to use a military plane? That's one of the lowest I've seen in my 34-year career. But why is it better to use a military plane that costs so much more than just a chartered plane, which is what was happening before?
Charter planes are still running at full capacity. This is just an added thing, and they can put a lot more people on a plane rather than they can make a long distance, such as going to Colombia. We'll use them for European removal. So it makes sense to fill that plane
You responded to Reddit. I think that if I was as extreme as everybody says that I am, you wouldn't be seeing multi-million viewed videos. Views equals right. No, you would be seeing multi-million. That is the reason why you're seeing multi-million viewed videos. Oh my God. Dude, Donald Trump is the president. What are we talking about? Of course, someone who just says like, no, everything he's saying is awesome and great and saving this country is going to garner a lot of attention from his fan base. He won the election. He won the popular vote. Like, what are we talking about? Can't be far right if popular is a common argument. You're mad because you have less views. I've always had less views than Asmongold. What are you talking about? Asmongold has consistently been one of the largest content creators on this platform. There's never been a moment where I've had more views than Asmongold. This is a fucking stupid argument. No, maybe it has everything to do with what he's advocating for to a large audience now and not necessarily, oh, it wasn't serious. Okay. I don't care. There are plenty of content creators who are much larger than me. Kai Cenat is infinitely larger than me. Love Kai Cenat. Great. Awesome. Good. If Kai Cenat, with his infinitely larger platform, was regularly watching Trump speeches and talking about how great Donald Trump is, then I would have a problem. Because my problem is not with someone else's success. It's actually what their output is. Okay? Mike from Pia put it best about Asman. It's like him starting a race with 200-year advantage. I'll add this. Then saying you get no advantage to catch up. Meanwhile, he still says he has his material needs, but leaving the marginalized in the dust, but saying me the whole fucking way. The thing I don't understand is like these guys were always talking about how everything is political and everything is woke and gay. And now that Donald Trump is president, they're talking about how they want to dress up as Ash Ketchum to go to the fucking deportations. Like, how did this happen? Like, how do we move? I guess it's great that it's no longer, politics is no longer political because Trump is president. Like, it turns out, and lo and behold, shocking shocking revelation, everybody. Centrists actually don't have an issue with right-wing politics. They have an issue with what they perceive as left-wing politics. You know, politics is only when something is seemingly aesthetically leftist or left-wing. It's crazy. Like, I still think that the only reason why someone like Asmongold can so carelessly say that he would dress up, even as a joke, he would dress up to, you know, dress up as a Pokemon trainer to go watch these thugs of the government violently apprehend and put into concentration camps with the slated for deportation millions of Americans, is because I guess they genuinely believe that all of these guys are like rapist murderers or something. Okay, that's the only way you can come to terms with doing something so horrifying that you just like simply don't understand. You simply do not understand that these are not like all rapist murderers or whatever. And some, the dipshits like Homan, are lying and saying they are. And many are just simply undocumented migrants that they're catching in dragnet operations, you know? And if your assessment in that situation is, well, they shouldn't have come in, they shouldn't have crossed this like imaginary boundary that didn't exist 100, 200 years ago. Sorry, sucks to suck. Then yeah, you're kind of a cruel person, you know? It's not very nice. It's not virtue signaling to say that. I truly don't get it.
A lot of people and get them moving. Again, it's an added asset because our air contracts now.
Bro, no offense, but it's people like you that was friends with him that never go hard on him and give him a pass. It's not a joke, Lamau. Yes, you're right. You're right. I'm the reason why Asmongold is doing this, is doing this like overt right-wing pivot, and not the millions of fucking views that his videos get on YouTube. And the fact that doing this, watching Trump videos and talking about how based he is or whatever, is garnering him a lot of attention. He doesn't give a shit about the money either. Like I know there is a lot that I understand about Asmongold that, weirdly enough, I understand where he's coming from. Okay. I understand where he's coming from in terms of why he does the things that he does. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He likes being liked. He likes being admired. He likes having a lot of attention. Okay? Yeah, he likes the affirmation from his base. He likes the support. That's it. He's not doing it for money. It's not like he's spending a tremendous amount of money. You're talking about a dude who had a busted Mustang that died on the side of a road eventually, rarely leaves his house, streams all the time. These are values that I also personally understand. I'm a lot more clean cut than he is, and care more about like my own physical health, and definitely go out more. But I also understand that being a motivation. Now, for me, people approaching me with charitability and watching me serves, in my opinion, a higher purpose. And I don't mean like a godly purpose or whatever when I say that. I'm pretty open about it. Just like I'm very open about my biases, which opened me up to attacks from many other people that don't agree with my worldview. I'm very open about my motivations as well. Okay? My motivations are very clear. I see every step that I take, whether it be doing silly stuff on stream or even fun stuff on stream, or whether it be hardcore political commentary, as a way to try to present an argument and a worldview that you might not be predisposed to. Okay? I'm here to try to get you to approach things that you see with a different lens, with a critical lens, and truly understand the vectors of pressure and pain in American society. Okay? So the larger I grow, the larger this community grows, the way I see it, the larger this community grows, the more people are charitable towards me instead of immediately writing me off as like some awful person, right? Because of the millions and millions of viewed negative videos out there where people make a mountain out of a molehill over and over again because I bought a fucking house for myself and my family and it was too expensive for their tastes, or because I leased a Porsche, okay? Or any number of different things that they freak out over, which are super stupid, and they would never actually... They would never even bat an eye if their favorite content creator did the same things. As a matter of fact, every single one of their content creators have done those things in general. But in their minds, it's like, well, he says he's a socialist, so he can't have these things, right? All of that works to undermine what I try to do, which is to have a larger audience of people that come in here and approach what I'm saying with some semblance of charitability. That's the way I see it. Yeah, the Porsche was pretty suspicious. Yeah, I know. It is. Because I'm not a socialist. I'm a capitalist. I love capitalism. Okay, there you go. You got me. I love capitalism. It's my favorite thing. What changed? What is the difference between me saying I'm a capitalist or me saying I'm anti-capitalist, especially as it pertains to like American domestic affairs? You know? The only difference is now you don't have like you don't have any sort of like pre-canned statements that you can launch against me. There it is.
Are full, 100% capacity. So as we add more flights, I'm sure we'll add more charter flights. But right now, DOD is working with us on the border, building infrastructure. Impedance and denial. They're down there putting razor wire up, and they're flying planes.
Okay.
They're also going to probably do some ground transportation. We're going to use DOD.
And I should note that we are told that the Department of Homeland Security will not be reimbursing the Pentagon for these flights. That sometimes is the case. But
you can't be serious. You really think Asman doesn't believe in what he's saying? No, I do think he believes in what he's saying. No, I do. It also makes no difference to me whether he believes in what he's saying or not. He's still entertaining these incredibly reactionary, incredibly violent ideas and joking about them with, 60,000 people every day. What the fuck? Like, that's ridiculous.